I just want people to stop trying to simplify anxiety down. It is not a simple illness whatsoever. It's very complicated. It's very complex. It looks different on every single person who has it. Hey everybody, welcome to or welcome back to my channel. My name is Maya. If you don't know me, I do mental health content, acting content, and I do vlogs. So if you like that kind of thing, you should subscribe to my channel. I think we have a lot of fun over here and we're growing day by day. So yeah, you should subscribe. Our next goal is 300 subscribers, y'all. So y'all share my videos, share my content, let everybody know they should be a part of this channel. Yeah, today I am doing a video about anxiety, and these are 4 things you should never say to people with anxiety. I'm starting a series on this. I'm doing depression and anxiety, things you should never say to people who are dealing with that. And if you haven't seen my depression video, I will link it right here so you can go watch that. That's my first video, and it'll be multiple parts to these videos because there's a lot I have to say on each of these topics. So let's go ahead and get right into it. First thing you should never say to somebody with anxiety is, this is all in your head. So like, technically you are correct. Anxiety is in a person's head, and it's a condition that stems from your mind, but just because it's in that person's head does not make the anxiety any less real, and it does not make their experience any less real, especially if they're experiencing anxiety at that very moment that you're telling them, like, this is all in your head. Okay, that doesn't change that moment that they're in, and that's not going to help them. So I would avoid saying things like that. Dealing with anxiety myself, I have been diagnosed by multiple therapists. I know what it feels like to go through it, and having somebody in your ear telling you that it's not real. That's the air coming on, sorry. Having somebody in your ear telling you that it's not real, that does not help. They are feeling unsafe enough as it is in the moment, and to have you adding that on, that's not going to help, and that's actually going to make things worse. We know it's not real, but at that very moment, you saying that is not going to change anything. Please try to avoid from saying that, especially if somebody is having a panic attack. Anxiety and anxiety attacks are 2 different things. You can say panic attack or you can say anxiety attack, but that's the same thing. When someone's having an attack, that's a very intense and scary and frightening moment. Everyone's anxiety attacks looks different, but the feelings inside, they're very intense. And that's for everybody all around. It's very frightening. So they don't need you coming up to them saying, this is all in your head. Yes, it is. But it's still real and it's still scary. So just try to be there for the person. I don't know. Ask them, what can you do, to make this moment better for them? If you can do anything, besides, just being there for them. But don't tell them it's all in their head. We know that, and we don't need you to say that. Thank you. The second thing you shouldn't say is, stop worrying. Everything will be okay. Okay, you can say that, but you shouldn't say it. If a person could turn their anxiety on and off with a switch, I guarantee you nobody would have anxiety. If it was that easy to say, oh, I'm having anxiety, let me just stop and it'll all be okay, I guarantee you they would have already done that by now. So you saying that, that's like, why? That's just a waste of breath. Do not say that to somebody. Also, another thing, worrying and anxiety are not the same thing. Some people get that confused. So telling somebody to stop worrying, that's really not the same thing. So you're not even saying anything helpful. Worrying is something that can be controlled. Like people worry about bills or, financial situations or things like that. Anxiety, you're thinking about things that cannot even be controlled. You know what I mean? Worrying, you usually worry about things that you can control or have some sort of control over. Anxiety is not worrying. You get it? And then a lot of the times, anxiety has nothing to do with what's happening at the moment. So for example, when you're walking, say you're walking into a building, I don't know, someplace with a lot of people, and your seat is in the front, so you're walking down. Anxiety is like, okay, what is this person thinking about me? Is this person looking at the way I walk? Is this person watching me walk to my seat? I wonder if they're judging me for what I have on. Um, you know, is there something hanging out of my nose? You know, anxiety is things like that. This person is saying this about me. This person is looking at me this way, so they must think this about me. You know, that doesn't make sense, you know, but worrying is just different. Anxiety is very irrational. Things that are most likely not to happen. So like for me, I'll give an example. For me, when I'm walking down somewhere and I have to walk a long way and I have to walk through people, if I'm wearing heels, I'm, you know, praying to God that I'm not going to trip and fall. Like it's running over and over in my mind. Please don't trip and fall. Please don't trip and fall. If you trip and fall, everybody's going to laugh at you. Everybody's going to do this. You're going to look like a fool, blah, blah, blah. So like, that's the difference between worry and anxiety. So stop telling people, you know, don't worry, everything will be okay. Number one, you can't guarantee everything is going to be okay. And number two, worrying and anxiety is not the same thing. So try to refrain from saying that to people. The next one I have for you, okay, it's starting to thunder now. Everybody feels anxious at some point. Yes, absolutely true. You are right. Once again, saying that is not going to change how the person feels. Saying that's not comforting. I know you think you're helping. That's not comforting to the person who's going through their panic attack or going through anxiety at the moment. That's not comforting to someone. And I know you think it is, but it's not. Everybody has anxiety at some point. True. But everybody is not diagnosed with anxiety. The difference between having anxiety, say you have anxiety once in January about something, you got to stand on stage and speak or whatever, and then you don't have it anymore until November, because you have to do something else. That's not the same thing as having anxiety. You get what I'm saying? Like, you can have anxiety at points, but having anxiety constantly is not the same thing. So you trying to tell that person, oh, I know what you're feeling because I had anxiety one time. No, that's not the same thing as having anxiety. Anxiety is a day-to-day, hour-to-hour, minute-to-minute type of illness. That's not the word I'm looking for, but like mental health illness, what I'm trying to say. Mental health issue. It doesn't come sometimes, and it's not for certain events. It's you either have it or you don't. You know what I mean? You're gonna have it all the time. Like, okay, I'm just gonna give examples because I know it's hard for some people to understand. Okay, I got an example. I'm just doing examples, personal examples, because like I said, I deal with anxiety and depression. I take medicine for them both, and I'm in therapy. But I know one thing that was hard for me, which is easier for me now because I'm on medicine, and like I said, medicine and therapy in combination. And of course, praying to God, and you know, He will help you through these things. And eventually, I do believe He can deliver you eventually. But you know, you have to work and, you know, do things to help yourself. But an example I'm trying to give is like, I don't have to be around people to have anxiety. When I wake up, this is not true for me anymore, but it was in the past. Like I would have anxiety about waking up and trying to see what am I going to eat today? You know, what am I going to eat for breakfast? That used to give me anxiety, because it's like, I don't want to make this choice. What if I make the wrong choice? What if I start eating and I don't, you know, I regret my choice of food, you know, things like that. I used to have anxiety about picking out outfits. What am I going to wear? If I wear this, am I going to feel comfortable? Are other people going to be looking at me? Am I going to draw attention to myself if I put this on, you know? Anxiety is things like that. Everyday decisions, everyday normal life decisions. You are in your head thinking overtime about something that's so normal that other people are able to do so easily. It's very hard for you because of anxiety. Because anxiety is irrational thoughts. That's what it is. it makes you think in ways that are just not normal. That is just one of the ways it presents itself. And like, it's hard to live with it. Trust me, I know. But what you say to people who are dealing with this, if you choose the wrong words, you can make what's already hard for them even more difficult to deal with. So like what I'm saying is, choose your words very carefully around these people, because they're already dealing with a lot of things in their head. When I tell you, somebody with anxiety, their minds are running 24/7 about so many different scenarios that are very unlikely to happen. So they just don't need you adding your 2 cents, especially if it's not going to help. Ask them how you can benefit them in the situation, how you can help them out in the situation. Don't just add your 2 cents. If you don't actually have anxiety, you can't relate to them. You have no idea how it is. Absolutely no idea. Then the last one I want to talk about today, when people say, okay, I know you have anxiety, but you can't let this control your life. I promise you, once again, if they had a choice, they would not be letting it control their lives. When you have anxiety and you don't have therapy and you don't have medicine to help you, I'm gonna say it's even more hard for the people who are not medicated and don't have therapy. They don't have any tools that they know to help them control it. They don't have any medicine helping their mind try to balance its thoughts. They don't have anything in place to help them. So they're not trying to let it control them. It just is. You know what I mean? And if you don't have any help, what do you want them to do? They're not trying to let it control their life, but that's just actually, that's just what is happening. It's very, very hard. No matter how hard I even try to explain it in this video, if you've never been through it, you're still not going to get it. But I'm trying to get y'all to have some empathy and to learn how to choose your words carefully, because you don't want to do more damage to the person than the anxiety is doing to them already. Another thing about anxiety, sometimes when you're in it so deep, you don't know, you get lost between your thoughts and the anxiety thoughts. The thoughts that the anxiety is putting in your head. You don't know the difference when you're in it so deep. I had a hard time with that myself. And I don't know if it's like this for all people, but I got to the point where I couldn't tell what was real and what was not. And I used to have to ask my family sometimes, like, is that real? Did that actually happen, or was that just in my head? Like, anxiety is a lot to deal with, especially if you have nothing helping you. And if you have anxiety and you're not medicated and you don't see a therapist, I would highly suggest that you see one, and try to talk to your primary care doctor. Your primary care doctor can prescribe you anxiety medications, but a therapist would know better, but they can prescribe you medications. And talk to them, let them know what's going on. They could be your first step. Try to find a therapist that you can afford. I think BetterHelp offers therapy that I think is affordable. I'm gonna research that and put the link in my bio if you need, if you are looking for a therapist. And also, I will always have the hotline in my bio, and the unaliving hotline. That is so ridiculous. The unaliving hotline will be in my bio, and people you can call. They are paid to sit at the phones 24/7. You can call or text them if you need anybody to talk to. If you don't have anybody to talk to, they are always on the line. They are literally paid to help you. And so you can call or text them if you don't feel like talking. And even if you're deaf and hard of hearing, I will put that number in my bio as well, so you can get in contact with them. And so, yeah, I just want people to stop trying to simplify anxiety down. It is not a simple illness whatsoever. It's very complicated. It's very complex. It looks different on every single person who has it. No two people have anxiety the same way. Microwave food almost done properly. But no two people have anxiety the same way. How it looks for me may not be how it looks for you. I just want y'all to know how hard it is living with this disorder. Disorder is the word I was looking for earlier. Whatever I was talking about earlier, I meant to say disorder. Disorder. It's very hard to live with, but it can be managed. I also believe God can totally restore you 100%. I do believe that, you know, he can totally restore you from the disorder of anxiety. And I can just let you know that it does get easier. If you're still dealing with it, it can get easier. It does get easier. You just need help. You cannot do it alone. You really are going to need help and people around you that get it and can try to empathize and try to support you in whatever way they can. If they don't know much about it, send them this video, send them my other videos so they can try to learn some things about it. You can begin to overcome it, you can begin to manage it, and I know you can get there because I have. So that is all for this video. I'm at 21 minutes. I didn't mean to talk this much. That's all for this video. I hope y'all enjoyed. If you learned one thing, I would like you to comment it down below. Go watch my other videos. Going to see Beyonce this week. Well, this will be up Friday. I'll be seeing Beyonce while y'all watching this. But yeah, make sure to like, comment, subscribe, and share with at least one person. Love you guys so much, and I will see you all in my next video. Bye.